Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire Gajananam bhutaganati sevitam kapitra jambhu palasara bhakshitam umasudam shoka vinashakaranam namami vigneshwara pada pankajam Apadamapartaram dataram sarvasamparam lokabhiramam Sriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyam Artanamattihantaram bhitanam bhayanashanam Dishatam kaladandam tam ramachandram namamyam Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sithaya Pate Namaha Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Arugya Kavita Shakam Mandir Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharina Shunman Ramakatha Nadam Konayati Param Gatim Goshpati Gatavarisham Mashaki Gatarakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapishamakshahantaram Vande Lanka. So we were in the Vanaparva. One sec. Yeah. We were in the Vanaparva in Kamyakavana, in a place called Kamyakavana. Let me just put this back. Yeah. In Kamyakavana, it's been 3 weeks since we had our previous session, so even I might have forgotten exactly where we were. So I'll just kind of do a quick bring you to that spot where we were. This was last time we saw that after the Pandavas had gone away for their forest exile, and the scene moved back to Hastinapura where Dhritarashtra was there. And Dhritarashtra, as usual, he represents us actually, in some sense, in a large sense actually, uh, uh, particularly blind to reality and confused and having a lot of attachment towards one's own, and at the same time thinking that one is leading a life of virtue. That kind, Dhritarashtra, he calls Vidura and then he's chatting with him saying, "Oh, Vidura," etc., saying, "What do you think?" And the Pandavas have gone and my sons have done this, and what's it going to be? He's very worried. Narada had also, told and gone that things are going to collapse now. And Vidura told him, listen, briefly, Vidura told him, listen, the only one way you can get out of this problem is by calling Yudhishthira back and handing over the entire kingdom to him. Just the whole thing. And if there's any good fortune left in your son's life, Yudhishthira may give him his kingdom, his part of the kingdom back, and he may rule. That is up to him. But that is the only way you're going to be able to atone for what has happened here, if at all. So this is the only thing you can do. There's nothing else that I would like you, I would be able to advise you on this. And hearing this, Dhritarashtra got very upset and said that you are a total, turncoat. You are talking, you came with a predetermined mind to speak the case of the Pandavas, and you don't have the you are not a well-wisher of mine or my family. You want me to give away the kingdom to those people. What about my family? What are you talking? Kind of thing. And he said that, yes, I know that they're also my children, but these are my own children, and how am I supposed to, you think I'll give up my own body for the sake of somebody else? And he had called him all sorts of names, actually. He said that he even called him, you are like an immoral woman who can never be, will never do the right thing, she'll always do the wrong thing. That kind of thing you are. And then he had told him that you go away, you get out of my kingdom, just go away. And if you want to stay, you stay, but you will have nothing to do with us. Or just leave and go. So he had practically thrown Vidura out of the kingdom. And Vidura had taken his horses and he had gone off to searching for where the Pandavas were. And so he He had he Pandavas had gone to, they were in that forest of Kamikavana. He went there. And seeing him coming, Pandavas had got, Yudhishthira had got a bit worried and had told his brothers and Draupadi saying, I can see Vidura is coming, and what will he be coming for? Is he coming to invite us for another game of gambling? Has Shakuni sent them or, to ask us to come back? If he asks me for another game of gambling, obviously I cannot decline. But what do they want from us now that they have taken everything away? Do they want our weapons itself? If our weapons also they win, then what is left for us? Nothing. Like that he's thinking, and very worried that Vidura is coming again. Because for each time, the earlier time, for example, first time, to invite them for gambling, Dhritarashtra had sent Vidura. So Vidura met them, but they put their fears to rest and said, listen, I tried to talk sense to King Dhritarashtra, but he doesn't listen. He's blinded by his attachment to his evil sons. And so he has also asked me to go away from the kingdom. So I thought, what else will I do? I will be with you. I thought I'll come to you, kind of thing, and come off here. Right. In the meanwhile, after he had left, Dhritarashtra had started getting worried again. He said, my God, what have I done? What have I done? I have sent off Vidura, and Vidura will certainly go and join the Pandavas. And Vidura is a master of statecraft, is a master of strategy, is a master of tactics, is a master of, wisdom. He's a very wise man, a great counselor, perhaps the best counselor in the world. Okay. Vaidurikam. No, when you talk about statecraft, you talk about Vidura Niti. And I have practically gifted him to my enemies, to my son's enemies. What have I done? And thinking about the great nonsense that he has done, he just falls unconscious. Then he comes to his senses and he calls us Sanjaya. And he cries, one falls crocodile tears, saying, I don't know what I have done. My own brother, Vidura, I have sent him off. He's gone away. Can you please go and get him back? Tell him I want him and all that. I can't be without him. And this and that. And he sends Sanjaya to fetch Vidura. Sanjaya goes and tells him that, King very heartbroken. You must come back. And he is requesting you, please come back, etc. And Vidura says, okay, I'll come back. He comes back. He comes back and Dhritarashtra says, it's my great good fortune that you have come back. It's my great good fortune that you still have some affection for me. You think of me. You have your mind is, your thoughts are there with me. it's all abho bhagyam of mine that you come. Please come. And he hugs him and embraces him and cries. And Vidura also breaks down and says, you are my Parama Guru. Oh, how can I go? I told all this, what I told you, because for me, both Kaurava, your sons and Pandu's sons is exactly same. But they are in distress, so naturally my affection goes towards, my thoughts will go towards them. So I had told what I thought was right, but you should not take it amiss, etc. So all this he was speaking. Seeing that Vidura had come back, the other brothers, that is, the sons, Duryodhana, Shakuni, Dushasana, Karna, all of them, they were, they were all so happy now in the assembly. They saw Vidura has come back. They're shocked. And Duryodhana said, this is crazy. Now this bloody old man will get the Pandavas back. At this rate, we will see Pandavas walking back into the kingdom. And if that happens, then I am going to give up my life. I'm not going to live. I'm not going to be able to live. I'll take poison, or I'll jump into the fire, or I'll use my weapons to kill myself, or I'll hang myself. I'll do something. I'll die, but I won't let these sons of Pandu to come back into this kingdom. And he's shouting like that. And Shakuni says, hey, what are you getting upset about? What are you getting upset about? Firstly, they will not come back. They have taken a vow. They will not come back. And even if they do, which is a low chance, even if they do, what is the big deal? Let us act as if all right, it's a normal, it's okay. We will not put up any, tamasha. We will act as if, all right, you come. You went. We threw you out, you come back, all right. We just take it as it comes, and then, we'll keep an eye. We'll watch. And obviously, we'll pick up something, and then we will attack again. We will do something. We look for holes, right? And Dushasana was very thrilled with what Shakuni had said, I told him, Mama, 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 whatever you speak is like honey to my ear. So wonderful. And Karna had butted in and he had said that they'll not come back. Those guys, even if they come back, then we will finish them. Then he had been observing Duryodhana, and he was Duryodhana's Sahridaya. He lived for Duryodhana. Duryodhana had given him that which nobody else had given him. So Karna saw that Duryodhana was not pleased by anything that was being said, and then he had opened his eyes wide, and then he had told, listen, he had told others, Duryodhana is our king, and we have to do what he wants. We have to do what pleases him. We can't be thinking like this on our own. So my suggestion is that right now, the Pandavas are weak. They're just gone. They don't have anybody, no allies, nothing. They're in the forest. Let us take a force and attack them and finish them off. Let's not give them an opportunity to grow again. Right now, let's go and finish them off. This Duryodhana had loved it. I had loved this thought, and he said, do it. Let's do it. And they had set off, armed with mighty weapons, with a crack force towards the direction of where Pandavas had gone. But then this was not a part of the script from Vyasa's point of view. So Vyasa had, in his Jnana Drishti, had seen this is happening, and he had manifested himself. He brought himself in front of the Kauravas, and he had told him to stop, go back. He had returned back with him, come. And such was the power of Vyasa that he could not be denied. I mean, he can change the story. So he had come back, they had all come back. Vyasa had brought them back, and he had gone and met Dhritarashtra and said, look what your sons are doing. They will bring an end to your entire race. Oh Dhritarashtra. Oh Dhritarashtra, these sons of yours. You know what they did? They set out to kill the Pandavas. Stop this fool Duryodhana from embarking on total suicide. He will lose his own life. Oh, Dhritarashtra, you are a good person. You are like Bhishma. You are like Drona. You are like Kripacharya. You are a wise king. You know well that family feuds are not good. They're bad to have. Should not have fights within the family. Swajana Kalaham, wrong. It will only lead to adharma and to bad name. So do not fight with your own blood. This is Rashtra. Now, if Duryodhana is not controlled, it will result in total calamity. Terrible atrocities will happen. If Duryodhana is so keen to go and face the Pandavas, I suggest one thing, send him alone, let him go and be with them in the forest sometime, live with them, they will develop some affection for him, at least. Then maybe something may happen, right? So Dhritarashtra said, Bhagavan, I did not want any of this to happen. I am against gambling. I have never liked it. Only it's Vidhi, it's fate that has dragged me into all this. In fact, you're right. I mean, I was advised by Bhishma and Vidura, even Gandhari advised me against this. But I couldn't help it because I was dragged by Putra Sneham. The affection that I have for my son, it dragged me in that direction. I cannot renounce my son. And then Vyasa had said, all right, you see, this is the great art of counseling. Even if if a damn fool insists that he will see red as green, Then you can't tell him you're a damn fool, you're seeing red as green. You're saying, hang on. All right. I understand what you're saying. Yes, actually, you're right, kind of thing. And then you start slowly, slowly making him understand that that is not red. This is green. It's colorblind. So Vyasa had told him, listen, I understand. You're Satyamaha. You're speaking the truth. Putra Sneham is something which is beyond everything. The greatest love a man can have is for his son. I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely. I understand what you did, kind of thing. But I have your interest at heart, so I'm telling you this. And then he had told him an anecdote about Indra and Surabhi, etc. I'm not going into that. Now, essentially, the anecdote was that, well, you have so many sons or children. To whom should you give attention? You should give attention to that child who is suffering. If any child is suffering, then your attention must go more to that child. At that time, you can't say all of them are equal to me. I'll give only 1%, 1% attention to each of them. So he's saying that, listen, Pandavas are suffering. And they're also your sons. Now you got 100 sons of your own. What do you call that? My sons, 100. But your brother Pandu's got 5 sons. Known sons. 5 known sons, he says. 5 sons are known. In the sense that Karna is not known. 5 sons are known. And you must. So to me, you're exactly all same. To me, you, Pandu, Vidura, all are dear to me. And your children are dear to me. But my own affection, therefore, among all of them goes towards Pandavas because they are innocent and they are suffering, and such a grave injustice has happened to them. So therefore, you must, the king, if you want let me tell you this, king. It's a question of survival of your entire race of Kauravas. If you'd like it to survive, if you want the Kaurava race to survive, then your son Duryodhana must make peace with the Pandavas. This is where we stopped last time. I hope I got you on to speed to where we are. Pandavas are in Kamekavana, in the forest. Where is that forest? It's Kamekavana is supposed to be somewhere north of Thar desert region. Used to be. By geographic description of Bharatam. So now, this is what Vyasa has told Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra says, O Mahamuni. What can I say? I understand exactly what you're saying, but my son will not listen. Please, will you please tell it to him yourself? Please tell him yourself. And Vyasa had said, O king, look, I can see that Bhagavan Maitreya is a rishi. Bhagavan Maitreya is coming here. In his Jnana Drishti, he sees the quick arrival, the near impending arrival of Maitreya, the rishi. He's coming here. And he has met Pandavas in the forest on the way here, and then he's coming here. It is he who will advise your son Dhritarashtra, to Duryodhana. It is he who will advise your son Duryodhana. I will not. He will, for the sake of peace of the family. But keep in mind one thing, O king. Whatever Maitreya says, you should do without any hesitation. You must carry it out. Because if you don't, then he'll get angry and pronounce a curse on your son. Keep that in mind. And he left. Vyasa just comes like this, like Hitchcock in his own movie. He'll come suddenly, do something and go. He left. Very crucial intervention he had done. And then he left. Maitreya came to the assembly. uh, terrific Rishi, Brahma Rishi, Maitreya, sage. And the Dhritarashtra welcomed him in the proper manner, gave him argyam, padyam, all that, asanam, all that is traditional things that are done when you welcome a great personage, a sage, or even your own royal guests who come after a long time. He did that. He welcomed him by giving him all the worshipful honor that is needed as per tradition. He did all that. And then after when he had settled down, and then he had asked him, O Rishi, uh, have you met the Pandavas on the way here? How are they? Are they insisting on carrying out their oath of staying in the forest, or what is their mind then? Will there be peace among the brothers? Oh, Rishi, please tell us. The Maharshi says, see, I was on a yatra and I happened to come in that Kurujangala direction, and I happened to come via that Kamya Kavana, and there I saw the Pandavas were there. And I was surprised. I saw them, Vidura and the brothers, all wearing matted locks and jata, and lot of munis were sages and Vedavids were with them. I spent some time with them. Then I came to know what had happened and how your Duryodhana's mind has gone bonkers. Bhranti. He's got mind has gone delusional. This is very unfortunate. What has happened? And because of resorting to gambling, such a great calamity has occurred. Right? I heard about all that. It pains me. It pains me to hear this. O king, while you are still here, you are there, Bhishma is there, still alive. It is most unfortunate that such a feud has started, has just now sprouted in your family. It is you, O king, who should have been standing as a pillar, and you who should control the course of action. Now, if you are indifferent to it when it is sprouting, then this is going to have a terrible consequence. O king, I have always had affection towards you, and so look to you. And I ask you, why are you not nipping this ghora adharma in the bud? O delight of Kurus, in your assembly, O king, barbaric incidents has occurred. Dacoity. What has happened here? Has happened in broad daylight in the assembly, in the presence of kings and you and Bhishma and others. And the world knows it, okay. And because of that, your good name has got soiled. You're not finding your usual favor in the society of good people, of tapasvis and munis. No, your name is not finding good favor, O king. Duryodhana says, please tell. Dhritarashtra says, please tell Duryodhana. Maitreya turned toward Duryodhana and Vyasa says, Maitreya spoke with great affection to him. Very nicely he spoke. He calls him, in fact, O Mahabahu Duryodhana Vadatam Vara. O you who are supreme, great among speakers, the gift of speech. He says, O Duryodhana of beautiful speech, O Mahabahu, O strong Duryodhana, listen to me. Listen to me, what I tell you is for your good. Make peace with the Pandava, Duryodhana, make peace. You know well the strength of the five brothers. Vajra like strength of the Pandavas. You know about Bhimasena well. Oh. Duryodhana, you know, he killed Hidimba, the Rakshasa. And when they left from here and they went to the forest for their exile, they actually traveled 3 days and 3 nights to reach Hidimba, the Kamyakavana. So, Maitreya says when they were entering Kamyakavana, it was night time, past night, when they entered. There, they had an encounter with a terrific Rakshasa called Kirmira, who was as huge as a hill. He took them on. And Bhimasena killed him. Bhimasena killed him. Like a lion would kill a small deer. He killed him. You know Bhimasena, Duryodhana. You know that during the course of the Vijaya Yatra that was led to the Rajasuya Yagam, he had killed the great Jarasandha himself. Jarasandha was killed by Bhimasena. All of you must remember that Sri Krishna is their cousin. Krishna is their cousin, no, Duryodhana. And the sons of Drupada are their brothers-in-law. Right? So you must make peace with them. Come on, control your anger and live in peace with the Pandavas. So Maitreya casually lets in the fact that Krishna is their cousin. Get that into your nut. Vaishampayana is telling the story of Janaraja and he says, Duryodhana, listen to him. I read 4 times, 5 times, I can't make out the Duryodhana standing or sitting. Either way it works. Listen to him. And he laughed, low laughter, derisively, mockingly at what was told to him. He didn't even look at Maitreya, it seems. He just looked down and he laughed. And then he swanked his own thigh. Thop, 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 thop. Without looking up at Maitreya, looking down the ground. Boom, boom, he hit his thigh. Looking down. And then with his toe, he started scratching the ground, writing something in his toe. Something like writing on the ground, just digging it with a big toe, the nails of his toe, he was like that. He didn't even bother to reply to Brahmarshi Maitreya. Instead, he was doing this. In Lakshana Shastra, the science of among other things, indications of body language or body structure and language. For a man to scratch the ground with his toe or foot as a reply or in presence of another person is an insult, is a offensive expression of offense. Whereas if looking down, not looking at that person, scratching the ground is considered an offensive gesture. Whereas if a young woman were to do that, she were to look on the ground and not reply, but just scratch the ground with her toe nails, it's considered a kind of expression of love without saying it. It's a fine distinction between a man and a woman. But here was Duryodhana. And he was, I think, I got that on. I think if I'm not mistaken, in Nala Damayanti did that, I think. So that's where I got that. Maybe I'm mistaken about the Lakshana Shastra. But here, definitely it was an offense. He used it as an offensive way, Duryodhana, towards Maitreya. Maitreya noticed it. He noticed that Duryodhana is being extremely, what do you call that behavior? Disgusting. Low down behavior on Duryodhana. So they don't have time to waste on all these kinds of things. He got very angry. He saw that he was giving no reply, got very angry. And then Vyasa says in Vaishampayana tells Janmeja, Vyasa tells Ganesha and all that. Vidina sampranudita sapayasya manodade tatah savari sprishyat kopasam raktalochana Maitreyo dhatrashtam tamasmad dushtachetasam yasmatvam mamanadritya nemaham vacham chikeshasi tasmadasya abhimanasya sadhya phalamavapnuhi त्वदभिद्रोहसंयुक्तं युद्धम् उत्पत्स्यते महत् तत्र भीमो गदागौदस्ततोरुभेक्ष्यते बली. Vaishampayana tells Janmeja that the Vidhata, the one who hands out fate, fruits of, the one who actually directing this entire script of universe, who hands out the script of every action that you take, the Vidhata, Vidhi, impelled by Vidhata. The Maharshi or the Brahmarshi has no sankalpa of his own. He will be the purest vehicle of the Vidhata. So, impelled by the Vidhata, he decided that a curse was due, that this fellow has to be cursed. So he took jalam, water in his hand, did achamana. Water is considered very pure. Major vows and promises are taken by touching water and then declaring. North India, etc., they do till they pani mein rakhe, shapat liya, pani mein chuke. So now, Krodha samraktalocham, his eyes red with anger. He told Duryodhana, Yasmatvam mama manadritya nemam vacham chikishasi. You have treated me, because you have treated me without any respect whatsoever, with total disrespect, no regard. And you have dismissed my words. Therefore, this arrogance of yours, O Prince, you will, for that arrogance of yours, Shigram, sadhya phalamavapnuhi. You will be definitely, quickly, you will be getting the fruits of that. You will be getting the fruits of that. Karturage aprapyate phalam. No? Vedanta said, you will get the fruit of that. Because of the deceitful behavior of yours, which has resulted in all this. There's going to be a great big battle, big war. Mahat Yuddham. And there in that war, this thigh of yours, which you smacked, that will be torn apart and broken by the strong. Bhimasena, the Bali. Bhimasena will smash that. Yes, actually only that curse only gave, cemented further, or gave the Vidhata's sanction to the oath that Bhimasena had already taken in the assembly. When Duryodhana had motioned to Draupadi and stroked his thigh and said, come sit here. He had not said the words, but he had pointed it out. Said, Dasi. And Bhimasena had taken the oath that I will break that thigh of yours. I will break that thigh. That was cemented here by the curse of Maitreya, a crucial point in Bharatam. And as soon as he said this, Dhritarashtra was, the man is not in control of anything except what does he do? So he said, may it not be so, or Rishi, please, may it not be so. May it not happen like that. He pleaded. Almost saying, please take back your curse. Maitreya said, if this fellow makes peace with Pandavas, then this curse will not take its effect. The curse will be averted. Now then, basically, Dhritarashtra probably felt a little bit relieved. Not because he thought that this guy will actually make peace with the Pandavas, but at least there was some breathing time for him to think or waste his time or whatever, which many people do. Saying, so long as at this minute I get some, I can postpone it by 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, the inevitable. Then 3 months I can go shopping. No? I can do what I want. You live long enough, you see all this happening. So this what probably Dhritarashtra felt, at least a little bit of relief that the curse will be averted provided they make peace. What peace, etc., we will see. Terms and conditions we can see. So long as the man is in power, he thinks that he can do many things. He can actually. So there is that feeling. Now, so he said, all right. So he kind of was trying to play down that entire situation a bit. So he turned, and he also now, one worry, had new information that he had got us now put a seed of big worry in his head. That was that Maitreya had said that in the Kamika Vana, when they had entered, there was this huge Rakshasa called Kirmira, whom Bhimasena had killed like a tiger would finish a lion would finish a deer. So he had not heard about it, and this is the first mention of that in Bharatam. So he turned towards Yas, the Rishi, Maitreya. Oh, Bhagavan, you mentioned about this Kirmira. He was worried. What kind of strength does this Bhimasena have? No, so he's worried. So asked him, please tell us more about this Kirmira. What happened? What happened? Maitreya told Dhritarashtra, listen, your son doesn't want to listen to me. He has no interest in what I say. So I will not stay here anymore. I'm leading. But as to what happened to Kirmira, Vidura will tell you. Vidura knows. You can ask him. And saying that, he left the assembly. And when he left the assembly, Duryodhana also got up and he walked out. Now, Dhritarashtra was left with Vidura. And he asked Vidura, what is this Kirmira thing about? Who is he? What happened? So Vidura says, O king, when the Pandavas entered Kamegavana, they took 3 days, 3 nights before, by the time they reached. It was midnight when they were entering Kamegavana. And as they entered, Kamegavana is such a horrible place. It is haunted by these Rakshasa and such other evil beings. It's so horrible in the night time. Their presence is so evil, palpably evil presence just takes over the whole forest in the night. That at that time, not even the munis, tapasvis, nor even the forest tribals dare to roam around in the night. They lie low. They don't come out. It becomes a terrible place in the night. At that time, at midnight, these Pandavas entered the forest. And Kirmira spotted them. Kirmira spotted them. And he was a master of Rakshasi Maya. And he could take any form. He could do whatever he wanted. He extended his arms, 2 arms, to a great length, blocking the entire path by which they were going to come. He opened his mouth wide. His 8 teeth were visible. His eyes were red. He waited. His teeth, 8 teeth sharp, shining in the night time. His hair was all standing on end. And he looked as if he was on fire. He was aflame, aflame, aflame. He had that Rakshasi Maya by which he could create terrible illusions. It was not at all clear where he was. In some sense, he was invisible, except for his evil presence all over you. And he was coming nearby. And his massive evil presence set the whole forest into a state of terror. The birds and animals, the land birds, the water birds, the animals, all of them started running and flying hither and thither in the forest. The creeper plants just tied themselves around the nearest tree. Wind, he created wind, shrieking wind started blowing. It was so scary, it was so scary, it looked as if the forest itself would just get up and run away. Trees, as you know, we all know, right? From instinctively we know, but J.C. Bose, etc. have proved the feelings the trees have. When a violent crime takes place near the tree or a plant, it loses consciousness. So the trees, they're petrified by this evil presence that now was going haunting the thing. And there was such terror palpable in the air that the lotus-eyed Krishna, that means Draupadi, suddenly got seized by terror. Terrified she was by the sudden unseen fear that she shut her eyes. She shut her eyes hard. And that hair of hers her locks of hair, which had been dragged and disheveled and dragged by Dhritarashtra, was flying in the wind. Draupadi, after that episode of Dushasana, her hair will be many, will become one of her symbols, which she has taken a vow not to tie until that Dushasana's blood is brought by Bhimasena to wash her hair, and the flesh and the medha, the flesh and the fat from Duryodhana's thigh is brought, with which she washed her hair. After that, she tied. So the untied hair of hers is flying in the wind, and she's terrified. Her eyes are closed. And Vidura says, Vidura heard the story from the Vedavit, so he'll tell that later. He says, she was there, she was trembling like a river which is caught between 5 mountains and unable, trembling between 5 mountains. In sheer fright, she fainted. She started falling unconscious. And the 5 brothers ran to catch her. They ran to catch her before she fell down. And the example, the analogy that Vyasa gives is Indriyani prasaktani vishayeshi yatharatim. These are the 5 sense organs of a human body. When it is infatuated by some object, when it wants it desperately, all 5 sense organs run to it. Likewise, the 5 brothers ran towards Draupadi when she was falling down. So there was this, that Rakshasa could not be seen. There was Maya illusion. But his presence was there. He was coming nearer and nearer, and his own interest was only to eat them up. But this fear, it could be seen that there's something crazy happening here. And Dhaumya Rishi, who is with them, he was a self-realized sage, who is with the Pandavas, is there to Rohita, he's come with them. He immediately started chanting proper, appropriate mantras from the Veda, which are meant for destroying such Maya, driving away such Maya, and he chanted those suktams, and it drove away that Maya, and now the Rakshasa could be seen for what he was. He was there in front of them. His invisibility of Maya was driven away, and there he was in front of them. And they could see him. Crazy Rakshasa was blocking their way. And Yudhishthira asked him politely, who may you be, sir? Ko Bhavan. And why are you blocking our way? Right? Then Rakshasa laughed and said, who am I? I am Kirmira. Know me to be Kirmira. I am the brother of Bakasura. And why am I here? Because I want to eat you. Now, Bakasura, was the one who was killed by Bhimasena, right? During that time when they were in the guise of Brahmanas and staying in Ekachakra before the Swayamvara of Draupadi. It was after the house of Lac was set on fire and Duryodhana and others had assumed that the Pandavas had been killed and the Pandavas had run away during digging a tunnel, and in a guise of Brahmana they were moving from place to place, and they were in this town staying in the house of some Brahmana. At the time, there was this crazy Rakshasa called Bakasura who had been, with whom this deal was that every day or periodically somebody would be sent, a great amount of food will be sent to him, and some person will have to go with and he'll eat the food, he'll kill that person. That's only way, otherwise he'll kill the whole country. Crazy Rakshasa, and it was the turn of the Brahmana's family's son to go, and they were all crying. And Yudhishthira asked, why are you crying? They told, our son has to die today. And then Yudhishthira said, no, we have been your guests, you must allow us to help you. And my brother will go instead of your son. And he had convinced them, and Bhimasena had gone with all the food, and he killed him. Bhimasena had killed Bakasura. Right? You know the story. So Kirmira says, I am Bakasura's brother. And who are you? He asked Yudhishthira. Mahabharata says, Yudhishthira told in the proper manner, introduced himself saying, I am from this Gotram, this family, this name. And you may have heard of us. Right? You may have heard of us. Bakasura's brother is saying, you may have heard of us. Kirmira claps his hands in glee and he says, oh, my good fortune. My good fortune. Ever since I have known about my brother's death, I have been looking for this fellow Bhimasena. And he has come here on his own. This is Vidhi. He's come here, he's been dragged here by my wanting him. And I don't have to go search for him. He's come on his own. This is a fellow who wore the disguise of a Brahmana and he took resort to the Vidya Balam of Brahmatvam to kill my brother. It was not his own strength that killed him. This crook who deceived in order to kill. He's come to me on his own. You have come to me on your own. And I know that he is the fellow who also killed my very good friend Hidimba and kidnapped his sister as well. And now I shall revenge. I shall take revenge. I shall avenge the death of both. And I shall do tarpana. I shall offer tarpana to my brother with the blood of Bhima. And I will eat him up. Just like Maharshi Agastya ate up Vatapi and digested him. I shall eat him up and digest him. You know the story of Vatapi. It comes in Ramayana. Right? Two brothers, Rakshasas, they would fool the people by coming as in some guise, invite them. To cut the story short, they had invited Agastya to partake of food and that served him. What this fellow used to do is the younger brother would become a goat and they would cut him up and make mutton out of it and mix it with rice and serve this man. Whoever they wanted to kill, they'd serve the person with that food, that biryani or whatever you call it. And the person would eat it, and after that, the elder brother would call out saying, Vatapi, come! And then Vatapi will just tear apart the stomach of that eater and come out and kill that person. So they tried that with Agastya. And the brother had said, Vatapi, come! And Agastya had just patted his stomach and said, he's digested. Just there's nothing left there to come. So like that, I will eat up Bhimasena and I will digest him. So when he said that, Arjuna picked up his Gandiva. When he picked up his Gandiva, Bhimasena just caught hold of his shoulder and said, relax, step back, step back, step back. This one is mine. He's mine. And then the two had fought. And they smashed into each other. They uprooted huge trees and smashed each other. And Kirmira had taken a huge log which was on fire. He set it on fire by his power, and he threw that blazing log on Bhimasena. And Bhimasena, Vyasa says, Bharatam says, now it's World Cup football time. So Bhimasena apparently just kicked it back. Zotak, he kicked it back at Kirmira. It went and hit him. And then they were fighting like Vyasa gives an example. They were fighting like old days, and he gives a verse. He says, Tadvriksham Tadvrikshama Vriksha Abhavan Mahiruha Vinashanam Vali Sugrivayo Dhatro Yata Stri Kankshino Pura. So they smashed into each other and they were fighting with trees and stuff in the manner like in the olden days, Vali and Sugriva had fought with each other over a woman, says Vyasa, Valmiki, Vidura. We don't know. I mean, this insight that what are the core thing because of which they were fighting. This way, we are finding it only in Mahabharata. Valmiki Ramayana, we don't get the fact, we don't get this point that this was very key in their feud with each other. Over Tara, maybe they were fighting. So there it was. So they were grappling with each other, hand to hand fighting. Keep going hammer and tongs each other like two tigers which are just tearing at each other and with their nails. Duryodhana nikaracha bahuviryacha dharpita krishnana nadishtacha yavardhata rukodara. Bhimasena had some powerful motivations to be the more powerful among the two fighters. The motivations of Bhimasena were: one, Duryodhana Nikarascha. He was smarting from the humiliation that he had suffered because of Duryodhana. That was translating into terrific anger. Two, Bahuviryacha Darpita. His own strength was egging him on. He was egging him on. Three, Krishnanayana Tashtascha. And he was fired by the loving looks that Draupadi was giving him. Draupadi, when she was in trouble, Bhimasena was the person who always used to come. When she had an issue, she could only go to Bhimasena, and Bhimasena would give his life or do whatever for her. Kantan, he was called. She was so happy that he was bloody fighting. He was fighting with this fellow. So she was giving him loving looks, and he was fired by those looks, and he gathered a surge of enthusiasm, and in that fight he threw down this guy Kirmira, and then he picked him up by his waist, says, like you see in the old videos of Dara Singh fighting with other great fighters from across the world. Finally he'll pick them up and he'll hold them above his head, and he'll turn around and whirl them and whirl them and whirl them and whirl them and whirl them. He'll just go round and round and round and round, make them spin like that, except that here he makes them spin so much that the fellow is falling unconscious like that. And then he smashes him on the ground. He smashes him on the ground, and then he goes and puts his knee on his back, puts his hand around his neck, and just turns it and kills it. He just kills that Kirmira, and he tells him, "You can go to the next locum, and even there you will not be able to give solace to your brother Vakasura or your friend Hidimba. Go." Vidura is telling the story to Dhritarashtra and says, the Pandavas freed the forest from the fear of Rakshasas. O king, I know this because when you had sent me out from here and I had gone to meet the Pandavas in the forest, I saw the huge dead body of Kirmira lying on the way in the forest. Messed up by Bhimasena. And when I had gone there to meet the Pandavas, the other Vedavits had told me all the details about what had happened, the whole story. And hearing the story, Dhritarashtra got very worried. And he started breathing heavily. On that note, we'll conclude here today. And 2 weeks from now, we will continue from here. Be there. It's very interesting what happens next. Hara Nama Parvati Pataye Hara Mahadeva Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Gopika Jivana Smaranam Govinda Govinda Vetrivil Muruganuku Arohara Guru Swamina Jai Anjaneya Swamina Jai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.